Sage Council. Demagen, I trust that... that's not the right voice at all. Demagen, I trust thy time at Merial Agronomics did bear fruits. Our own efforts too were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guest's relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them and us for a fortnight. Alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Charlotte and Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every loprit there should further questions within my power to answer arise. Oh. Did Growing Way want to carry on? Bless him. I'm actually really enjoying this part of the story because you've got this race of creatures that have been tasked with saving us as a species, saving us as a planet. And yet the knowledge that they have of us is so limited. It's great fish out of water style comedy, essentially. But it's got a lot of heart attached to it because, you know, their motivations are pure, as far as we know. And therefore, seeing them flounder with all of this stuff that they couldn't possibly have known from what limited knowledge they've got is really entertaining. That was ever so delightful. And with this much information, I can fine-tune the moon's environments for your people's comfort. It's surprisingly tricky to estimate the appropriate temperature settings for being so lacking in fur. Why did I not ask Joe Cow to make carrot muffins? We could have had baked goods bursting with happiness. Oh no, there was nowhere in particular I was hoping to go. I simply wish to see, hear, feel, and think as much as I possibly can while we're here. Huh, what's that look for? What did I say? I simply wish to see, hear, feel, and think. It's interesting that there's a feel in there. The loporits want for activities. The loporits want for activities and stimulation, but I struggle to conceive of how to busy them whilst we wait. Maybe let's turn the sky red. No, let's not do that. I don't want burned rabbits on my conscience. What's up, Groway? Yes, Demagen, that was indeed me verbalizing a sigh to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data for Theris at Logistic and Alpha, that's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that? You should see the forest of the first. One was purple. Gasp! Gasp, I say! With a star so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. Oh, Growing Way! How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard yet achieving so little. But you've done wonderfully. Not at all. Thy works are no less worthy for their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Oh, hi, Thancred. Thancred. How didst thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move the cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here, despite news of the coming end. We have the forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death. And we can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Perhaps not. Though aided by our goodly Growing Way, we may yet find another way to lighten their burden. Or other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I'm honoured that you think me so capable, but I'm not sure I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in need of healing paw. Perhaps you might start with him. It is as good a place as any. Come. You'd best go with them. I don't think Andre misjudged him, but Groway does look like he could use some emotional support. I still have work to complete elsewhere. I trust that I won't return to find any Lopowitz in tears. I'm not so sure on that. They seem quite despondent. Which, yeah, makes sense. Oh, can I help you? It's you who would have helped me. No, it is you who would help me. Is my anxiety truly so obvious? A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray, tell us of thy troubles. These little fellows do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship, that it's the sum of decades of Charlatan ingenuity, that it's built by peerless, elegant technology, is all true, but I know that none of that's a guarantee. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown it in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage, but even so, if it fails us, then what can we do? If it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the ether burner's design was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus dost thou not hold the power to allay his fears? Oh, I'm not sure about that, but, well... Maybe you could tell me if there are any aspects of the ship's design that you're especially worried about. Our ability to walk around and employ our tasks, for one. I've devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell, to regulate the environment, but what if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we've left the star? Ah, gravitation. Maybe I can be of help after all. Up there it's not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply, and if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate places... Hey! I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Well done, Andre. You're a good egg. Yet, if that could tell be true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might I prevail upon the Lopowitz to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is naught we'd like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Atheris, and learn more about them while we're at it. Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Imogen, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succour. Pray seek thee out the distressed and the apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them here, that I might introduce each to a suitable Lopowitz. Sweet. Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Lopowit, and every Lopowit in their place. Not entirely sure that means exactly what he's getting at, but... Right, let us find some people in need of aid. A distracted researcher. 56 bunches of weeds in the ground, 56 bunches of weed. Rip one out, add to the mound, 55 bunches of weeds in the... What? I'm not neglecting my duties, I swear. I didn't need a little break, you see, but then I found myself unable to relax at all, so I went to walk, and then there's just weeds and... Pleasant conversation partners and oh so fuzzy. Goodness me, that does sound like a much better way to relax. The appeal of fuzziness. By the gods, my chest is tight. Am I dying? Is this what dying feels like? Oh, do pardon me. I didn't see you there. There's no cause for concern, I assure you. No cause for concern, even though we may need to depart at any moment, and if the hull I designed buckles under the strain, the entire vessel may explode on launch, claiming countless lives and dooming all mankind, but that is highly unlikely, yes. Yes, highly unlikely, highly. Our visitors can help me triple check for structural flaws, you say? Oh, that'd be wonderful. I'm breathing more easily already. Yeah, I'm really liking this quest line. Irascible administrator. Yo, yes, you idiots. Have you seen an envelope lying about? This imbecile refuses to give me the alchemic I ordered without that bloody slip of parchment. Unless your friends have a spell to make me remember where I dropped my damned envelope, I doubt they'd be more help than you. And you've wasted enough time of my time already. It would be unfortunate for all involved to inflict this man upon the Lopowitz. My face? What's wrong with my... Ow. Perhaps I am a bit tense. I was tasked with ensuring that the proper fauna, and only the proper fauna, are brought with us to the moon. However, the sustainability of a few species is still under debate, and I can hardly make the decision myself when I know so little about the environment up there. Well, fortunately, including the Lopowitz in our discussion is a wonderful idea. I absolutely will, thank you. Perhaps their biology itself might offer some clue as well. And I'm still not entirely sure why they're all rabbits, apart from it being a Final Fantasy IV callback. Consult our collaborators? I suppose that would be more effective than sitting here brooding. I'm attempting to calculate how much cargo we can consolidate into fewer trips, should the ether burner make our original estimates unfeasible. But there are simply too many variables. I feel as if my brow will turn inside out. But perhaps our lunar associates will have more insight into how much weight constitutes too much weight for our purposes. Thank you for letting me know. You are welcome. How might I help you? Oh my, what a lovely idea. I too noticed people becoming rather tense, so I rushed out to pick some fresh and fragrant tea leaves. Now I need only track down 100 or so cups. But don't you worry, I can manage. I hope your plan to cheer everyone up goes well. This woman is doing better than you are. Nice. This is actually a really big area. Oh, that's not a minion. That's just a mammoth. And I want it. Blasted assistants, where have they gone off to at a time like this? Beg pardon, but I've not the time for idle chit-chat. I need to reconfirm that ether levels are consistent throughout the vessel's machinery, and it seems I shall have to do so single-handedly. I swear when I find those assistants of mine. The Lopowitz are willing to help? Why didn't you say so? At least they won't moan about how they checked 24 times already and haven't slept in weeks, lazy sods. Sorry, Lopowitz. The end of the world is nigh, yet the work goes no faster. Schedules are such temperamental things. Feasible one moment, utter bollocks the next. Yet I've never felt so alive. This one is beyond your help. Only sleep can save her now. That's beautifully written. Succinct and yet just excellent. Level-headed engineer. Concerns? Nay, there's no point in worrying at this stage. It'll only make the work go that much slower. This woman seems to be coping well. An anxious engineer. What am I thinking about? The medical facility on the ship, of course. I designed them with the assistance of our sages and chirurgeons, but to imagine every illness or injury that one might face in that great expanse is beyond any of us. To say nothing of the effects that living out there indefinitely might have on the body. The crew from the moon? Why did I not think of that? A tired gleaner. Is anything bothering me? Well, I've been loading cargo for bells now, so my back feels like a void since playing it as a piano. My feet and knees as drums and cymbals too. Glitter seems fine. If in need of a break. Know them feels, sir. Know them feels. Worries? No, I believe I'm fine, thank you. I've been confiding in my colleagues and it's helped a lot. Can't recommend it enough. Nice. Well done, you. Have you heard anything of what's on the moon? I have no doubt that we can make it up there, but the searching for a new star part of the plan sounds awfully vague to me. I asked the forum, but they will only tell us that our collaborators have everything under control. Forgive me, but I don't feel particularly safe wandering through the sea of stars and God knows what made by gods know who. You mean to say that I can speak with them? Directly? Amazing! I hope they like questions. They freaking love questions, mate. You'll be more than happy with that. Oh, no, this one's going to be unconcerned, isn't he? Apologies, but I'm awaiting delivery. Whatever it is, we'll have to wait. We'll do this. We need just one more. I actually think that this is the longest of any of these such quests that we've ever done. I might be wrong. Let me know if I am down in the comments below. But I'm pretty certain this is the longest go and talk to X number of people quest that we've done. Because we've also spoken to a load of people that haven't counted. Aha! I see you, despondent engineer. Just leave me to my misery. The forum can appoint someone else. Ugh, I apologise. I simply didn't know what to do. How am I supposed to pilot the Ark if I'm already falling apart under the pressure? You know a starship pilot that I might speak with? Truly? Well then, there's no time to waste. They can help me prepare for this monumental task. Well, that was a lot of troubled souls. And it took quite a ways. Quite a whiles. Oh, look at them all. In the long run, however, most of you won't die. Sweet. Behold, Demagen, through thine efforts word hath spread throughout Labyrinthos. Verily to a far greater number than we anticipated. Giving away doth gather more loporits as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skills, that new bonds of friendship might be forged. So should greater matters require not thine attention, should greater matters not require thine attention, watch over them, I prithee. As far as I'm aware, nothing exceptional requires our attention. Hello, Living Way.
Phew! Oh, finally some rest. Why, I haven't spoken so much in, well, in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
'Twould behoove you to consult with Sleeping Way. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Atheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial.
He's a good egg.
Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge. When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
Yes. He's in his elements.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And
Who?
impressed, no doubt. Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget.
That's Moonbreeder's parents.
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Yes, I am.
Wilson and Blovida, Charlian's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moonbreeder's parents.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Blovida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
Arthur, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where. Do you have any idea how worried we were?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know. We always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while, arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better. I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy, our daughter, trusted and believed in more than anyone, grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
I think I can feel her too. The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
This moon breeder. She was important to him, wasn't she?
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing. And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
That was beautifully written, well acted, good use of budget for motion capture and stuff like that. Very sensitively handled, a little bit reversal of expectations, but not really, but just beautifully done. And in no other game, no other MMO certainly, would time be taken for that kind of exchange. And in no other MMO would it have been earned. Because we've had since, what was it? Was it 2.3? Something like that when Moonbreeder died. It might even have been 2.2. You know, it's been literal years, and her name's kept coming up, and obviously the revelation at the start of this expansion that Urianger had written to the parents but never actually spoken to them, that automatically makes you think, oh, well, they're clearly going to make a point of that at some point to add to the conflicts. And how wonderful it is to be wrong about that. The fact that it has not added to the conflict, but it has added an extra level of humanity to our characters, as well as providing illustration for the Loprits. And then all leading into Thancred's line about it being too soon for this to end. You know, that's masterful writing. Remind me to invite Urianger for a drink when we have a moment to breathe. We're long overdue for one. We can raise a glass to Moonbreeder. I love Moonbreeder as a character as well. We literally had her for what, a patch? And then she was gone. And there's something about that particular character that resonated so well. She was the first of the Scions, wasn't she, to die? I was so busy asking questions about Atheris that I never thought to ask more about Urianger. I'd like to, but where would I begin? Goodness me, I've never felt there was too little time before. There's so many people to talk to, so many things to learn. I assure you that my fellow Loprits are equally excited to have this opportunity. They were humming the whole way here. We spent so long gazing at this star, wondering and hoping, but to be here now, to walk among the peoples, to be part of their lives and know that we've made a difference, so much more than I ever dreamed. Oh, you must be one of the Scions, correct? Thank you for caring for my daughter. The time she spent with you was all too short, but I know she was proud to have you as comrades. Urianger's too, I'm sure. I certainly feel better for knowing he has good friends to look after him. See that he comes home from time to time, will you? The classic Rugadin language isn't so different from Eorzin. Did you ever wonder why we named our daughter Moon's Bride? When I first held her, the moon was shining silver and full. The whole world seemed aglow. I knew it had chosen her. It should be a beacon of that self-same light. Of course, we'd later hear our fair share of jokes about how we ought to have gone for Sun instead, with how bright and stubborn she was. But fiery as my Moonbreeder was, she was always kind. Kind and gentle. Oh, Temujin, be assured that I am fine, I am. Well, glad to see them too after so very long. Glad still that it was in your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. Ugh. Heartbreaking and yet heartwarming at the same time. No armory space. That's going to do it for that episode, because we've already massively run over thanks to how long that quest took. But that whole scene, man, it was just so well done. So sensitive, so thoughtful, so perfectly placed. That was just really good storytelling, complemented by really good voice acting and some nice use of the motion capture budget there. You know, hugging in games is difficult to do without... You can't realistically do it without motion capture or some really intense animation time. And I don't know which that was, because, you know, you can get it done with just pure keyframed animation. And even the kind of shaking of Urianger as he held Moonbreeder's mother tighter. It was just good visual storytelling, and you know, you really felt for the guy and them. And that only works, as I said, if you've got characters that you care about in situations that are realistic and sadly realistically tragic, as Moonbreeder's whole situation was. I mean, I've always felt so sad about Moonbreeder because of how little time we got to spend with her and the amount of impact that she made. She paved the way for characters like Tesleen, who we saw for maybe a dozen quests, if that, and then they were killed off in a horrible way. I mean, Moonbreeder sacrificed herself. She knew what she was doing. Tesleen's death was horrific. Moonbreeder's was tragic, but she at least chose it. She chose the course of action for herself, knowing that sacrifice was the right thing to do. And it still stung because of how awesome a character she was. It is truly difficult, and you might not realise this, and this is not me again trying to blow my my English teacher or my writer's trumpet here. It is truly difficult to create a character that you care for in a short space of time, and then to have people have the appropriate response once they die. It's not an easy thing to do. It requires time, and it requires numerous drafts, and it requires very particular writing and dialogue in order to do well. And I'm not saying that I've done it well, but I know, that's how it works. It requires some serious thinking, because a lot of deaths are played for pure shock value, and Tesleen's was, to an extent. Tesleen's death was played for shock value, but it was written so well and was then so graphic that it was shock, yes, but it had the element of tragedy to go with it. If we hadn't known Tesleen as well as we did by that point, then it wouldn't have been tragic. It would just have been shock value. And that's why you have to, or at least that's why I think you have to applaud the writing team for FF14, because those moments have been done so very well. That's going to be it for this episode, folks. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching me cry, which is essentially what I did for the last 10 minutes or so of this episode. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up on it, and let me know what your reaction was to that whole section that I've just sobbed my way through. Catch you all in the next one. Cheerio.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.